Okay, who thinks they have the answer for number 1? If it takes 23 minutes, it really takes you 28. 23 is the what, Tristan?
Is the ideal time, and 20 minutes is the actual time.
Actual, yes. So it is the actual. I like ideal. I'm going to use predicted. And let's cross those out. So predicted and actual. Number 2, Tanya, could you read, please?
You can calculate how much of a product you will get from a chemical reaction. If you actually do the reaction in the lab, though the amount of product you will get will probably be whatever the amount you can make it.
So when we do a lab in chemistry, do you think you actually end up making more or less? What tends to happen?
More.
I know a lot of us say, oh, let's keep adding more, but really, in lab, what tends to happen is you actually end up making less than the amount you predicted, okay? So let's cross out less than. Alex, could you read number 3, please? Uh-huh. So if something's contaminated, like water, then he's exactly right. You're going to get more than the amount you predicted. Okay, so yes, you're right. If you do end up with water, you get more than you predicted. Number 4, Brendan, please. You can just say blank if you don't know the answers. That's fine. So this one you might not know, but a word we're going to learn today is called percent yield. Compares the amount of actual product, what you actually made, what was done in the lab, to the amount of predicted by stoic. Okay? So stoic is like the prediction. Stoic is doing the math and predicting how much you should actually make. And then percent yield is saying, well, what did I actually make in lab? Okay? Number 5, Tristan, please.
Calculations based on a balance of completion always fits theoretical or ideal.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you. Karina, number 6, please.
The reaction will produce theoretical yield.
Yeah, you know how people say, oh, in theory, blah, 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 blah. Like, theoretical means, like, what you should get. So, produces the theoretical yield. That's the if it worked perfectly. Does that happen in real life? Not really. Jack, number 7.
A high percent yield of 25% means the reaction makes close to the maximum amount of the product.
Perfect. And do all chemical reactions continue until at least one reactant is used up? I don't know where 240. That must have been last year's book. Yeah, so the reactions keep going as long as they have the reactants there. But once one of them gets used up, then it's done. Like, you couldn't build any more smoles when you ran out of the chocolate chips or the whatever, right? One of those things was a limiting reactant. So a percent yield. Ethan, what would you choose for number 9?
It's like a percent score on the test.
Right. Theoretically, what would we all love to get on our unit test? 100. I know a lot of you will get that. But actually, what happens? It's a little less, maybe, right? So it's a percent yield is kind of like a score on a test. How well did you do that reaction? How well did you do on that test? So the definition of actual yield is the amount reacted in lab, in real life, okay? The theoretical is the amount predicted by stoic. I apologize, yes. Okay? So the actual is the amount reacted in lab, what you did in real life. The theoretical, the amount predicted by stoic, okay? The math that you should have gotten. So the formula, does anyone remember this from the lab that you just did?
It's like,
No, I don't.
Wait,
no one does.
why isn't Brian anymore?
Her schedule changed this semester, and from her being out so long, I'm sure she has to like catch up on stuff. But she, just to let you know, she was one of the highest fundraisers, and she was the class leader for Stoicathon, and she like raised a ton of money. She said she just went to like a family function and talked to a lot of family members about raising money for Stoic. What was that?
Should you raise?
I would have to ask her, but I remember she was like the highest one. It was pretty amazing.
I forgot.
Bri, she usually comes in sometimes.
I only have $3.
Okay, so the percent yield is the actual over the theoretical times 100%. Okay, we're going to use this equation on the next page, but guess what? It is, I know it's on here somewhere. I want to say it's somewhere in your periodic table. And if not, we will, that's one that we will have for you. Okay, so let's go on the next page. So percent yield in the kitchen, in your smalls. Suppose you make chocolate chip cookies to bring to your chemistry teacher. The recipe tells you that you will make 48 cookies, but you only made 18. So the percent yield is, what number should I put on top?
48.
So remember,
18.
it's actual
48. 18.
over theoretical. So the actual, how much did I actually make? 18 over 48 times 100. Yep, you should get 37.5% yield. Not a good percent yield, right? That's like a pretty bad test score. Now, even though I love cookies, let's talk about doing this actually in the lab. All right? Aluminum and copper 2 chloride react to make copper according to the reaction below. If you start with 1.3 grams of aluminum, calculate the theoretical yield grams of copper. All this is a grams to grams problem. Okay, so I have my periodic table in front of me.
Are you serious?
I'm going to follow, and that's why we do STOIC, is to do these type of problems. I will do the molar mass for you. Okay, so I'm being helpful here. So AL, the molar mass is, let's write 26.98 grams. CuCl2 is 134.45 grams. Copper is 63.55 grams. And the last one, 133.34 grams. I'll zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. Oh, I can't zoom in because I'm recording, so hopefully you can see that. Sorry.
Move it up towards the camera.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
133 or what?
133.34. Okay, so we start with 1.3 grams of aluminum. And again, for me, I like to do the units first. That's so I make sure I'm right. So I start with the molar mass at the bottom, so grams of Al, and I go to moles of Al. Next is the mole ratio, so moles of Al to moles of copper, Cu. And then 1 mole, so mole of copper to grams of copper. Now all I do is put the numbers. So I know 1 mole is how many grams of Al? 26.98. The mole ratio is in the equation, so Al is 2, copper is 3, 1 mole to grams of copper, 63.55. Okay. So everything on top multiplies. Let's clear this. Make sure you're using a calculator that you're going to use on the test next week. 53.96. 1.3 times 3 times 247.65.
It's just the same equation that we used.
Yep. This is just gram to gram stoic for limiting reactant. 4.58 grams of Cu. Okay?
I got 267.35.
For the top?
Yeah.
Did anyone else get 267?
Printed as
So 1.3 times 3 times 63.55. Yeah, I got 247.
Oh, 63. Oh, sorry.
So let's say in the lab I actually only made 2.10. So Tanya, if I actually made 2.10, does that go on the top or the bottom to do percent
Top.
yield? Which one?
Top.
And then on the bottom, where do I get the theoretical?
You just got that.
I just got that, right? That's by stoic. That's what I should have gotten. That's like the perfect score in the test. So now I do 2.1 divided by 4.58 and times 100. So 45.8% Still kind of a bad test score, but that's what the percent yield was. Life isn't perfect in lab, right?